Hey, good evening, folks. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Kleenex, because I can't tell if you could by looking at my nose, but my allergies have been kicking my ass all day. But today is Armistice Day / Veterans Day. What does that mean? Well, the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month, the Great War, the war to end all wars, comes to an end. World War I is kind of a complicated war to talk about because the reason why the European countries went to war with each other was rather complicated, but you can blame it on militarism, imperialism, the alliance systems, and I guess you could say hubris, because a lot of the soldiers were educated, middle to upper class young men, and when they heard that this was going to be the last of all wars, they thought, like, hey, this would be a great, story time, when I get older, and wouldn't it be wonderful? If you ever watched the Peter Jennings series, The American Century by ABC, tremendous series, I use it in my class all the time. They have interviews with soldiers who, keep in mind, sadly, they're all gone now, but they talk about basically how young and stupid they were, and just the horrendous conditions that they fought in. And clearly it wasn't the war to end all wars, because if it was, I'd be out of a job, basically, as far as being a history teacher. But yes, and here's the thing about World War I. You can't talk about World War II without talking about World War I. And because at the end of World War I, with the Treaty of Versailles, which basically put all the blame on Germany, even though Germany was never really defeated, they kind of, there was a treaty that was signed and they went home. But there's got to be a winner, there's got to be a loser. And here's Scully. Hi, baby girl. I'm in the middle of doing something. Don't show your butt to the camera. That's gross. Don't do that. Okay. So anyway, you can't talk about World War II without talking about World War I, because the seeds for World War II, you're adorable, were planted after the end of World War I. And you really can't talk about a lot of the modern problems that we have today. Excuse me, young lady. Can't really talk about the modern problems of the world without talking about World War II, the Cold War, and the fallout from that. So also, it being Veterans Day, hopefully you reached out to veterans show them a little bit of love. And just don't do that on Veterans Day. Do that every day, because veterans today, when we look at the suicide rate among veterans, PTSD amongst veterans, we could be doing more as a society. So be kind to one another, and talk